Pizza presents STP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
Woo! Yeah, I am hungover.
Are you?
I'm actually a little hungover.
Yeah?
Yeah, I went to the bar last night. Birthday yesterday, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, my goodness. All the birthdays.
All the birthdays. Yeah. Jesse and I's birthday is always very, very close together, and we're both kind of low-key celebrators. Like I had a couple friends at the bar. I invited Jesse. Jesse couldn't make it because he was here late doing work.
Well, it's not late. My schedule is just different.
Okay, well, at 10 p.m. last night, he's like, hey, man, I don't want to, or 9:45, he's like, hey, man, I don't want to miss the rest of the game. I'm still at the studio, so I can't meet you at the bar.
So I got to watch it with Devo Brown, and it was nice.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Today's episode's a little bit different because not only are we not going to be on the radio, so we can just talk all the way through. There is no, we could fucking swear right now. Holy shit. But also, the dog is here.
Don't put Bindi on the table. That's terrible.
Nobody puts Bindi on a table. Bindi,
I'll let you down.
my dog Bindi is here because yesterday she spent a lot of the time, she hung out with me in the morning, but she spent most of the day in the crate. And I thought, you know what? It's Good Friday. Let's bring her with. Nobody's at the studio. Who cares? And she's loving Steve right now. And I think lastly, and I think this is most important, this is the first episode ever that we have been able to talk about a Toronto Maple Leaf playoff game.
I love it.
How amazing is that?
Even if it's a loss, I'm good.
Even if it's a loss. Even if it's a loss. And we're going to talk to a few different. We're going to talk about all the series. We're going to run through them all.
No.
We're going to start with Toronto and Washington.
Toronto! Leafs! Dita!
And we're also going to talk about the fact that. Andrew Burkshire is going to come on a little bit later. He's going to tell us about Les Habitants and how they did against New York. I thought the game was closer than it actually was. It goes to show, the eye test thing. Where you're watching a game, you're like, this seems close,
No.
and then you look at the chances, the actual not shots, scoring chances.
No, I was told,
and you're like, whoa,
The
maybe
even strength scoring chances.
Bingo.
no, it's you win or you lose. There are no moral victories in the playoffs, I was told.
That's what I was told this morning as well by TV guys.
Because, you know
hey, TV guys.
Yeah. You know what's great? You know what's great? When everyone turns into Vin Diesel the first time he races Paul Walker the first Fast and the Furious.
I take my playoffs a quarter mile at a time.
I almost had you. You didn't almost have me. Vin Diesel things.
You owe me a 10-second playoff game.
Yeah, you must be a riot at parties. Shut up. Shut up.
Hey, man, I think there is such thing as a moral victory, and I very, very biasedly, that's not a word, and very gladly give it to the Toronto Maple Leafs yesterday. I think that was a great game.
It was a great game.
For one, was very, very impressed. Listen, I know Washington overall is a better team. I'm not afraid to admit that.
Yeah, I mean...
but here's the thing. Washington's a better team, points-wise, than every team.
A person who currently works with an NHL team once told me the best team in the NHL rarely wins the Stanley Cup.
And it's a good point. Washington is a very, very good team, but what I saw yesterday, especially in the first period, and Steve's just petting the dog, hanging out.
I'm the dog whisperer, apparently. She's just right here.
Was a Washington team that was a little bit freaked out about being in the playoffs,
especially in the first period. What was that?
What was it? What was that?
Oh, they were so shook. It wasn't just that they were on their heels, allowing the Leafs to get all kinds of opportunities, and the Leafs forced their hand as well. But the amount of times the Caps fanned on shots that they would never fan on, passes to the feet. Mm-hmm. Even Holtby panicked too. Like, Caps fans were very quick to defend their boy, and I said at least a couple of the Capitals' goals were lucky bounces, and they were quick to point out, well, the first goal, JVR just throws it in front. It's a lucky bounce out to Mitch Marner, who's got a wide open net. Well, first of all, why does Mitch Marner have a wide open net? Second of all, how on earth does that puck, the shot or pass, whatever it was meant to be by JVR, how does that squeak by Holtby?
That's a good question.
How does it squeak by him? Minute and 36 into the game, I'm just saying.
Man. Yeah, it was nice for the Leafs to get one that early. And I think that was my birthday present, was Mitch Marner scoring that goal, honestly, because it what it did was it kind of evened the playing field out. You go into this series and it looks lopsided, right? It looks so lopsided. Every broadcaster, every prognosticator, all the Vegas odds, everything was Leafs are going to get killed.
Caps in 3.
Caps in 3. Caps over the laughs.
I'm just saying, Leafs were defeated in Game 1, but the Capitals needed overtime to do it. The Predators, the second wild card in the West, won.
Yeah. Well, and
it's the playoffs where stupid happens.
And we're going to talk about that, but I feel like the Leafs, I mean, we can't pretend that game couldn't have gone both ways.
Yeah, I mean, Leafs own the first half easily. Caps own the second half and overtime easily. So what do you take from that? I don't know. It's the Leafs season in a nutshell, really. We've seen that from them all year. They get a big lead. They kind of die. You head into the game and you go, well, heading into the game, would you have taken a 2-2 tie heading into the third? Yeah, but me heading into the game was an idiot and didn't know the future to come. He didn't know that they were going to be up 2-0 less than 10 minutes in. Mm-hmm. So, you're pleased, you're disappointed. It's a hurricane of emotion. But
I was a little, I was impressed by, and I know Barry Trotz is this kind of guy, I was impressed by how he rolled his lines. Because
Babcock too. I mean,
well, but for sure.
Yeah, the fourth line wasn't really a liability.
No, they were out in overtime.
Yeah,
on the
one poor shift, really.
Yeah, and I thought Matt Martin's penalty, what was it in the second period, was pretty dumb.
Yeah, it was kind of dumb.
And that's the thing is that like I since Brian Boyle's come to town, I've really liked Matt Martin. Does that make sense?
Oh, way better.
Yeah,
way better.
So, but what's frustrating is sometimes you do get those penalties from him. We can't afford that against Washington.
In Matt Martin's defense, though, so I kind of complained about the penalty. I watched the replay. I'm like, yeah, you can call that, but all you want out of a ref is consistency. You look at what was allowed to go on during that game. Like, this game was a good reminder that in the playoffs, murder is legal. So all the things, it's so weird in the playoffs because murder is legal. It becomes a little bit more frustrating when the refs decide, and now that's a penalty. Mm-hmm. I think it often has to do with possession. If you do some shenanigans that's illegal, but the other team gets the puck, you're fine.
Right.
It was the Leafs separated the Caps from the puck illegally, and then the Leafs got the puck. You're in the box.
That's a problem.
There it is. I mean, you can't just let that slide.
Right.
You can't let the Leafs do something that's not allowed, and then they get the puck. And then what if that's a scoring chance?
Exactly. Leo's penalty too in the first period, I was like,
that ended up going to Zach Hyman, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. It was Zach Hyman that got it, or
Zach Hyman went to the box, but I think it was the wrong call.
Wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't love it either. So we got to watch that against a team like Washington. One thing I was impressed with, though, was the fact that Ovechkin was kind of quiet. Now,
he was so quiet.
I don't know if that was Toronto.
It's after 82 games. He doesn't show
up. Oh, that's right. Thanks, Mike Milbury. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Jeremy Roenick.
Yeah, no problem.
By the way, let's talk about Tanner Glass some more, shall we?
Yeah. One of the best storyline. Ovechkin's one of the best, goals per game in the playoffs in NHL history.
Who said that? Did somebody actually say that? Did somebody actually say he doesn't show up for the playoffs?
I'm sure they did. I didn't hear any last night. They did say, "Hey, Ovechkin's been quiet tonight on CBC," but
he was.
I thought it was just a fair criticism.
I think
let's throw Backstrom in there too,
and I'll throw Matthews in there. Thought Matthews was pretty quiet. I thought they had some good chances, but I thought who really driving the play on that line was William Nylander.
And then he's sort of responsible for the second goal too. So.
Right, because a defensive last.
It's a rough go. You know what I was thinking, and maybe this is sidetracking. Maybe this is a conversation for whenever the Leaf season is done. I think William Nylander's transition to center, if it ever happens, that's going to be a little bit painful. I think.
Yeah,
I kind of like him, just free as a bird, doing whatever he wants on the wing, because that. You got to be better than that.
Yes.
You have to be better than that defensively.
To be fair to him, it looked like Freddie had the puck. It looked like he was going to freeze it.
It did, but...
You still tie up your man.
Yeah.
That's a learning lesson. That's a learning lesson. That's a lesson learned, I would say. I think that's the because ultimately, I think you see that and you go, okay, well, he's got it, so you kind of relax a little bit. But even so, the players are going to go to the net, especially a guy like Justin Williams. And you got to move those guys away from Freddie.
And for as clenched as the Capitals seemed, I think it's a little bit of voodoo that people put like maybe too much weight in, but that whole playoff experience thing, Justin Williams isn't going to clench.
No.
Like that guy might be the most clutch, if there is such a thing, guy in the league, Mr. Game 7 or whatever.
He's a playoff guy.
Wasn't phased.
We were talking about him yesterday in the studio, and we didn't realize he has 3 cups.
Yeah, he won a cup with Carolina.
Carolina, that's right.
Jesse's like, did he win with because it said 3 cups on the pregame, and Jesse, I'm like, when did he win the 3rd cup?
Has he lost a Game 7 yet?
I don't know.
I don't think he's like reverse Boudreaux.
So,
like,
what would happen if him and
ever-
Bruce Boudreaux were on the same team?
You know what? Game 8.
Game 8. That's right. Russian Super Series, 72.
Yeah.
I wonder. I wondered where it was, and then I looked up his hockey DB, and he's been playing since the 2000-2001 season.
Yeah. He's been around
Philly,
and it took until 2014 for people to notice him.
Yeah,
and he's having one of his best goal years.
Yeah,
ever.
like he's been amazing. Been really like
it's pretty good in Game 1.
So anyway, congratulations to him and to the Caps and to their fans. I think they, I'm sure they would have wanted. I think the Caps wanted to come out, and I think their fans wanted them to come out and stomp the Leafs. And like, this is supposed to be a footnote, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their fans though, don't they perfectly match the team? Like just pin drop silence in that building after the Leafs made it 2-0. Williams breathes, just a little bit of life in there. Game tying goal. Yeah, they're maniacs after that.
Can we talk about that game winner?
Sure.
Can we talk about the fact that Martin Marinson has not played?
Was it tipped?
I don't know. I couldn't tell.
I don't think
it was.
I
but
saw his jersey ripple.
Here's what to me.
I don't know.
Okay, so Martin Marinson throws it up the boards, and people are upset about that or whatever. I thought Martin Marinson looked pretty good for a guy that hasn't played for 2 months.
No,
I thought he was crisp. I thought his passes were good. I thought he moved it in the defensive zone. He looked like old Martin Marinson.
Can we get rid of one thing at least? I saw a few people say Martin Marinson should not see overtime. It's not the regular season anymore, guys. You can't just roll, 4
players.
A trio of trios, and that's it. It's 5-on-5. You don't know if this is going to go 1 OT or 5. You just don't know. Mm-hmm. You can't afford to do that. And what are you going to do? Burn out your other guys in Game 1? But then you lose Game 1. So I don't think it's all his fault.
I also think. I don't think that Tom Gilbert expected that to go in.
Tom Wilson.
Tom Wilson. Sorry, Tom Gilbert. Tom Wilson. And I
don't think Freddie expected him to shoot it.
No, it's it was a tough angle, and it seemed to handcuff him. And it was one of
he was a little deep in his net.
And it's so funny, again, hearing TV guys talk about how it's a shame that goal is going to be the one that people remember because he had some other good saves. No, I don't think that's the one that people are going to remember. I think
beat him glove, too. Like, that glove was working all game. Freddie loves his mustard.
He was stellar. So if there's anybody that's like, oh, that's Freddie's fault, well, the fact that they were even there was Freddie's fault as well.
Yeah.
People get so defeatist after losses,
Oh, my
man.
God.
Like, it's like, chill.
I heard a guy, an analyst, and a former NHL player say, "Oh, I would take, would you take this as a moral victory?" And he said, "No, I would be really upset that we blew a chance to win.
Well, I'm sure
I'd be really down. Like, what?
Yeah, great,
good. Game 1 of the playoffs.
That helps. You know what that helps? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
There's no benefit to being down on yourself.
Can you imagine if Washington had lost, what the stories would have been too? Oh my God. Washington lost a game. And the thing is that if they had lost, we wouldn't be, in over our heads going, oh my God, well, the series is over. But people would be.
Matt Hunwick buries the winner. It almost made it 3-1 off the post. Mm-hmm. Just
could have happened.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, the Calgary Flames would be the 2004 Stanley Cup champions.
That's true.
And the Canucks would have only had to use 6 defensemen in 2011. And Dwayne Rollison would have
not gone down in the game one of the finals.
Had the Oilers sweep the Hurricanes.
Yep.
And
the Justin Williams Hurricanes.
On and on. Hey, if the Devils don't take that stupid 5-minute major in Game 6 of the 2012 Stanley Cup final, Maybe the Devils find a way to force the Kings to 6 and then 7 or whatever it was. Who knows? Who knows? But all I know is the Hurricanes won, Lightning won, Bruins won,
And Caps won game 1.
Caps won.
How do you feel now? How do you guys feel about it?
The way I describe it is I walk around smiling, sighing, and just saying, fuck, every now and then. Because watching the highlights, I always watch the highlights before I make an LFR, and I always dread it after a loss. Always dread it after a loss. Now, blowouts are almost easier sometimes because you look at each goal and go, all right, who fucked up where? What was wrong? This one, I'm going, they could have won it here.
Yeah.
They could have won it there. Why did they do this? Why did they do that? Freddie, like, okay, if Nylander ties up his guy, how about if Freddie doesn't get up off of a puck that he's on top of?
Yeah.
He didn't know.
Yeah.
He didn't know. There were so many bounces. So we talked about the bounce on the Marner goal. Freddie stood up on top of a puck that he stopped on an easy shot. Shattenkirk on the first goal, maybe blasts it, maybe scores. Maybe Freddie stops it and we go to a face-off. But his stick breaks, the puck slides like right above the crease. Brown has a chance to get it. Polak pokes at it, but it's just a little Oshie gets it, sends it to Williams, and it's in the back of the net. Like there was every goal had something about it. The only real goal where you can't make any excuses, I think, was Gardner's. Holtby initiates contact with Kadri, made the right call. I didn't leave this game thinking the Caps were unbeatable, that's for sure.
Right. And that's how I feel, which to me, I have to be honest, is a tremendous relief. That's why I am zen this morning. I feel fantastic.
The one thing I worry about is...
Except for the hangover.
Will that be the Caps' worst game of the series? That's what I worry about.
I don't think so.
No?
Because I don't think they were that bad either. It's not like they played bad. I think they played nervous, but I don't think they played bad.
First period, they were bad.
Or were the Leafs good?
Bad. Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's the point.
We never want to give them credit, eh?
Give them a little bit of credit.
Yeah.
I think they deserve it. And I think the thing is, Toronto has a fast team, and you notice it. I mean, not that Washington doesn't, but it is a fast group of guys. And the second they stop using that speed, that's when it starts to come up to bite them, I think.
Babcock's an interesting guy. Like, he does a few things that I haven't seen before, or maybe I just haven't been paying attention. So he's got his 4 lines, and he likes to roll them. After the Leafs have a big penalty kill, what does he roll out? That weird little, I think it's Matthews.
Kadri Matthews.
Is it Kadri Matthews Hyman or Kadri Matthews Nylander? I think he alternates.
Yeah.
What about different lines for the third? Like, why not? You struggle so badly there. Like, what's going on there? Is it just a mental thing and it's going to fix itself over time? Or do you mix it up in the third? If anything, it might screw up your players, might screw up theirs. I don't know. It's a little late to be experimenting.
Yep, a little bit.
But, like, what would those lines be? Like, how would you optimize speed?
See, if you're going to optimize speed, then you want to put, it's got to be like, I would say like a, what's she chewing on? She chewing on anything? Hey, come here.
She's trying to uproot the doorstop.
It's the doorstop.
Oh, it's the doorstop. She's trying to, okay, well, she can go ahead and chew on that doorstop.
It's metal. I don't think she'll win.
It's got to be Marner, for sure.
Marner, Matthews, Nylander, just...
Well, I don't know if you do that. I mean, do you, or, and this is the problem, Kasperi Kapanen is so fast. But I was talking to Gus Katsaros about it on Twitter last week in our DMs, and I said, what are your thoughts on him? And he said he goes into dead zones.
He's a little bit of a project, eh?
Yeah.
I haven't been over the moon with him, but the
Nor have
raw
I.
skill is there.
It's there. If it's the decision making, that's the thing. So
yeah,
if he
dead zones, that's interesting.
If he was, and you can follow Gus on Twitter at Cats Hockey.
Cats with a K.
What he said to me was that Nylander has all of those things, but it's almost like it's the decisions that he keeps making that are the problem. If we could have him figure that out, it would be great to see what he could do with Matthews and Nylander. I would love, switch wings and just come on, right? Throw that out there. See, how does a team defend that? If you have a guy like Kasperi Kapanen making those pro decisions that he hasn't, I don't think, fully started to make yet.
Well, and now, so you've freed up a couple options. So what was that line that
It
you
would be
just said?
Kapanen, and I think Kapanen would have to switch wings, wouldn't he?
Kapanen, Matthews, Nylander? Maybe, but a lot of the wingers
They can play
in
both
the Leaf
sides.
system can play both.
So I say,
What about a line, something along the lines of Hyman, Bozak, Brown,
I like that.
Boyle, Martin? And I don't know, maybe you
Hyman?
just shorten the bench a little bit and
Boyle, Martin, Hyman.
Komarov, Kadri, insert. Boyle, Martin, insert. I don't know.
I'd also like to see.
Did we forget JVR exists? I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
I'd like to see what Komarov looks like on the Matthews line. So
That's interesting.
You put Nylander and Matthews out there, and you have Komarov, who and this is not, again, we're not taking shots at Zach Hyman here, but I would love to see, because Leo can pretty much do everything pretty well. He's not a superstar scorer, but he's got some skill. He is probably a top 10, I think, defensive forward in the league. I think he's amazing on defense and never gets any credit for it. I would love to see if Matthews and Nylander felt a little bit more at ease because he was on that line. Do you know what I mean? And knew that he would go in the corners, knew he would go to the net, but also get back. I wonder if they would kind of free themselves up a little bit more. I don't know.
Are we just trying to reinvent the wheel after the Leafs lost a one-goal
One-goal game.
overtime?
That could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Does Marchenko start next game?
I don't think so.
No.
I thought Marinson played well enough to keep playing.
I thought Hunwick played well. Riley played great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shame about Zaitsev.
It is.
Damn it.
Hopefully he can come back.
Yeah.
From that, I'd like to move on.
Yes.
I'd like to move on to Montreal, New York, if I can.
Yes.
I know that didn't happen last night, but I would like to bring Andrew Berkshire on. Do you think I can do that?
I think you can do that.
Give me one moment. I'm going to dial him up. And joining us now, the one, the only, Andrew Berkshire.
Boo.
Boo.
Hello.
Whoa.
Andrew's already recorded a podcast today, so he's been at work on this Good Friday.
Cool. Welcome
I'm
to a
offended
better
by
one.
this booing.
What's that?
I'm offended by this booing.
Boo.
We're offended by Montreal losing to the New York Rangers.
Well, I know
should
you
be.
are, Adam.
Okay, what happened, Andrew? Because to me, so I watched the game and I'm like, man, I felt like in the first period, Montreal deserved to have more go their way. And then I think maybe the rest of the way they weren't that strong. But Andrew, what was your take on the game?
I agree. I liked the first period. It was pretty good for the Canadians. The second and third period, it seemed like the Rangers adjusted, and the Habs had no answer whatsoever. They just can't generate offense, man. Like, they just don't know what to do, and they've got too many guys who have no offense on that roster. Like, even the guys that did contribute a fair amount of offense, like a decent amount of offense in the regular season, like Philippe Deneau, Andrew Shaw, they're third-line guys. You know, Paul Byron is a third-line guy who had a good year.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys can't be your top scorers. You can't have Alex Galchenyuk on your fourth line and expect to be scoring a lot of goals against Henrik Lundqvist. It just the league doesn't work like that. And I think the Canadians have just stretched themselves too thinly offensively. And their like blatant refusal to graduate prospects has bitten them. You know, like they have a guy in the American Hockey League named Charles Hudon who basically has across the board the exact same profile as Connor Brown, but he's a little bit more dynamic. Brown's more of like a gritty guy. Hudon's got a little bit more talent.
He's a goal scorer, right?
Yeah, he's a good goal scorer, big time shooter, good playmaker. But whereas the Leafs broke in Connor Brown when they didn't really have to, they have so many rookies, they could have gone another route. The Canadians have a bunch of veterans and refused to break in Charles Hudon. And, you know, Connor Brown scored 20 goals this year. I think the Canadians could use a 20-goal scorer.
Right.
Over the course of a full AHL season, Charles Hudon was on pace for 35. I think he could be an asset, but it's too late now.
So help me out, man. Who's on Shaw's line?
I think right now it is Arturi Lekkinen and Paul Byron.
Do you like
it kind
that
of
line?
changes every game.
That kind of sounds like a decent line.
Yeah, it is a decent line. Lekkinen is very good. He actually was one of the better players last game. But, you know, Andrew Shaw is not a center in the NHL. Even when he is playing center, he's he's a good player, but he's not great defensively. His offensive game is mostly net front presence, and you can't do that as a center. A center has to be more involved than just sitting in front of the net. So it takes away Shaw's most effective asset, and it makes him kind of useless. Not completely, because he's pretty good at carrying the puck through the middle, but it's not his best role. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's limiting himself. Well, the reason I brought up that line is there was some pack on CBC. I don't remember who was analyzing it, but it was talking about how the Habs got no traffic in front of Lundqvist and was letting him see everything. And one of the highlights that they showed during that pack was Shaw ripping a shot. And all I could think was, wait, why is Shaw ripping that shot? It should be one of his teammates, and he should be in there being a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one headbutting in goals.
Yeah, and I think that was on the power play as well. And Shaw has been on the first wave power play for most of the year, and he has 1 goal.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is that actually, even with Claude Julien? I mean, Claude Julien's been there, 24 regular season games and 1 playoff game. And that's continued?
Yeah, it still continues. The way they've organized their power play, it looks like they're trying to create 2 relatively equal units, but it hasn't worked out very well. I think they were 8% down the stretch on the power play, which is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But, even last game, the power play, even if you ignore the forwards and say it was fine, they started Shea Weber on his strong side every power play. So Shea Weber is probably their number 1 asset in terms of skill relative to the rest of the league at that specific position because of his shot, right? It's a ridiculous shot that can just blow a guy's kneecap off and still go in the net. But if you have him in a position where he cannot physically get a one-timer, what's the point? Because he's not a great playmaker. So if you're not using guys to the best of their ability on the power play and you're wasting time with a guy on his strong side because you're worried about a clearance, you're just going about it the wrong way. You're thinking too conservatively, and I think that was the problem in Game 1.
Let's pretend the Habs lose this series in whatever amount of games, doesn't matter. Can you imagine if Shea Weber was Russian?
Yeah, well, we'll see, because if that were to happen, I don't think it's Shea Weber who will be in a lot of trouble. I think it'll be Marc Bergevin.
No, well, I think you're 100% right, but the reason I bring that up is he's been to the second round, once, twice?
Yeah, I think twice, and he hasn't had much playoff success. And I actually kind of got mad at a writer in Montreal here recently who I have a lot of respect for because he wrote a playoff preview piece, and he said that Shea Weber was a proven playoff performer, and I was thinking,
nope.
No, he's not. He's very bad, actually, in the playoffs historically, relative to his regular season performance. He hasn't been a big playoff performer.
And Nashville really wasn't either.
And I'm not trying to dump on the guy. I'm more sticking up for Ovechkin.
Yeah. It's weird how things get twisted based on where you're from or, what country you play for. And I feel like that's another thing that people say, oh, Shea Weber's, he's been big in the big moments for Team Canada. The way that Team Canada has been built for the last several years and the success that they've had, who as a regular has not been good? For Shea Weber's playing style, it's very easy for him to fit on those ridiculously talented teams because he gets to play his regular conservative style and just be a part of a great thing. He doesn't have to stand out. When you're playing in league play, where your best players have to be dynamic, it's tougher for him in the playoffs because he has to be the guy. He can't just be a guy.
And honestly,
that's where you lose out when you trade a guy like PK Subban for Shea Weber.
And you've got so much more ice when you're talking about Team Canada, right? We're not talking NHL ice, right? There's more room.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, a guy like him, if you want to line him up for his shot, you have room to do it.
A little bit easier.
Yeah. The one thing you tweeted something really interesting a couple days ago, Andrew. So, and this is my favorite storyline because everybody keeps bringing this up with the New York-Montreal series, why I wanted to watch the game so much. And I know I missed a better game in the Boston-Ottawa game, but I wanted to watch for this reason. Alex Galchenyuk on the 4th line, which is crazy. And you tweeted this, Andrew. You said, quote, Alex Galchenyuk's been bad. That's why he's on the fourth line. And then you tweeted, since Claude Julien took over, so which was 24 games left in the regular season, who's been good? And number 2 on team scoring since Claude Julien took over is Alex Galchenyuk with 15 points. Who's number 1?
When do we just start calling him Belarusian Kadri? Like,
right.
His career trajectory is eerily familiar to me, Andrew.
Yeah, I don't think he has the defensive chops that Kadri has, but he's a little bit higher skill level. I think he definitely has a better shot. But, yeah, Galchenyuk, I don't know, because I see what happened with Kadri and the change in Toronto's management structure and how that benefited him. And I don't see that coming in Montreal. So, I think this is probably the last we're going to see of Galchenyuk in Montreal. And it makes me sad just because the way I view it is not only are you going to lose Galchenyuk and probably lose that trade because he's a great player, but they lost Subban last summer as well. And that's your 2 most talented draft picks for the last 22 years. You're going back to Saku Koivu? That level of talent, I guess you could say Andrei Markov, but I feel like
they drafted
a 9th round pick, that was more luck than, a big time draft pick that you're looking forward to.
Price.
And it comes back to me to a little bit this is going to sound nostalgic, but identity. What are the Canadians supposed to be in the grand scheme of the NHL? They're supposed to be the Flying Frenchmen, right? So they lost the flying part in the mid-90s, and they were no longer very good offensively. They weren't very entertaining, but they were very French. Then they lost the French part in the 2000s. So what are they now? They're just another team. And I feel like that's what frustrates me about the direction that they're going is there's nothing really to hold on to with this team in terms of an emotional or identifiable connection. They're just another team in the NHL, another corporation that is sometimes good and sometimes bad, not very entertaining, certainly not more entertaining than any other NHL team. It's tough. It's not a team that's going in the right direction overall.
Here, let's drop all the emotions and nostalgia. How do the Canadians contain Tanner Glass? I want to know.
There's only one way, Steve. Steve Ott.
You know what? He's going to score. He's going to get the Habs' first goal of this series. Mark it down.
I don't know. I think it might be Andreas Martinson. Galchenyuk put 3 goals on his stick last game, and he whiffed on every single shot. So maybe he won't whiff once.
Are you trying to tell me that the fourth line center for the Colorado Avalanche has not made an immediate impact?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, I guess usually when you take the worst player off the worst team in the league, you can't really expect great things.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, Andrew. I think buying a bunch of spare parts like Montreal did at the trade deadline sure made a difference.
Well, you could tell last game that Dwight King, he really brought his Stanley Cup experience by skating around and doing absolutely nothing.
Hey, he has scored a goal in 17 games and added 0 assists.
You know
what the worst part is? Sven Andrighetto, who they traded for Andreas Martinson, had a point a game run down from the trade deadline in Colorado.
Oh my God.
Nobody else in Colorado was scoring at all.
Well,
and then there's just Andrighetto ripping shots, shooting 22%. It was incredible.
We just found their new captain after they trade Landeskog for a 5th. Hey, I feel like every time you come on the show, you kind of give the Habs a pretty hard time, but in my bracket video, which isn't gospel, I probably made a few stupid picks, but for some reason, the Habs beating the Rangers seemed like the biggest slam dunk to me. I don't know why. It just spoke to me. How do the Rangers lose this one?
Well, honestly, as much as I am giving them a hard time, they should win this series.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Canadians are the better team here. The Rangers are a bit of smoke and mirrors. They don't have much depth on defense. Henrik Lundqvist, as great as he was in that one game, isn't what he used to be. Carey Price is dynamite against the Rangers. Over his last 13 starts against them, he has a .968 save percentage.
Crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah, he had a .967 save percentage last game, and they still lost. So you never know what could happen. But I don't think they're going to go the entire series without scoring. There were some positives, too. Like, Max Pacioretty was very good in that first game. I think he had 6 scoring chances, but he just flubbed a couple, and Lundqvist made a couple of big saves. I don't think that game is indicative of how the series will go.
No moral victories.
No, that's right.
In the playoffs. is what I was told.
We've been hearing that this morning in Toronto, Andrew. No moral victories.
Well, you got to say, though, with Toronto, if they were to pull that game off, I could see it happening, the upset. But now that it's over, I'm like, that's kind of it.
What?
Really?
What if they win the second one,
Oh,
man?
my goodness.
No, but it's all about that first impression, right? Like, if the Capitals get any bit of doubt in their mind, then, you could seize on that. But now that they've won one and they got better each period as the game went on, I think that's kind of it, guys.
Andrew's trolling us.
Oh, yeah.
She's trolling.
I'm
He's trying to
not-
trigger
I'm not
Leaf
a
fans
troll.
all across. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So, someone tweeted me, Habs in 3.25, only because of the overtime.
Andrew, last question on Montreal. And it's not really a question. It's more of a I'm outing you because we were texting about it earlier this week.
Oh, damn.
You have something that you hope happens, correct?
Hope?
Yeah. You there's something to do with the Nashville Predators. That you're
I'd love to see them win the Stanley Cup.
which I just
I haven't
I
gone
do
to the
too.
third round, man. I haven't gone to the third round.
Yes, I have been going all the way in my bracket and losing to Washington, but I think what I was texting with Adam about was I feel like it would be extremely funny to see the Canadians go to the final against the Predators and the Predators win it in Montreal. So, like, PK Subban's literally getting the Stanley Cup in Montreal.
Oh man, I want
'Cause I
that.
feel
I want
the
that.
riot that would happen
Oh,
would destroy this city.
it's funny because that would mean Mark Bergevin got a team to the Stanley Cup final, but you have to fire him purely out of principle.
Yeah,
That's the rules, right? Like, it's actually written in the NHL rulebook.
oh my god, can you imagine? That would be so great.
That's
If you're a storyline person like Jesse is, this is a storyline you want.
Jesse is an
storyline.
I win storyline.
Yeah.
The best storyline is the Leafs winning the cup.
That's right. Okay, but this would be the second best, right?
Second best.
Second
yeah.
best.
Plus, I feel like as soon as that happened, I'd retweet my article on Sportsnet, like the day of the PK Subban trade that got so much traffic, and just sit back and watch all the hate come in.
Oh, it'd be sweet.
Yeah, Andrew, I was texting him when I used to get the emails for the stats on Sportsnet.ca. The amount of people that read that article would have been one of the top 10 cities in the country.
Wow.
A lot of people read it.
Wow, man. Okay. Well, Andrew, best of luck. We'll check in with you later this week, obviously, about how the Montreal-New York series is going. But it was just funny. It's just funny. Andrew, the Montreal fan, could not be more negative about Montreal's at.
He's not a
I'm
Montreal
not really
fan.
a fan, but okay.
No.
Not a Montreal fan. That's right. No, that's right. You're a Leafs fan, Andrew.
There's only room on the Steve Dangle podcast for one Habs fan, Adam.
But enough about Jesse Blake.
There you go.
Andrew, thanks for making time for us today, buddy. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, man.
Andrew Berkshire.
He's going to be a tough dad. You know what I mean?
He's a king troll.
He is.
He knows how to troll.
But he knows what he's talking about too. And I think there was some stuff that he was tweeting yesterday. You should check out his tweets on where Washington's shots were and where the Leafs shots were in the second period.
Oh, I need to see this.
And Toronto wasn't anywhere close to the slot.
Not good.
Not good. So,
good.
that's the thing is that Toronto's going to have to correct some of those things. We'll see if they can make those adjustments. Ottawa, Boston. Why does it always have to be Brad Marchand? Why does it always have to be Brad Marchand? And I am not a Senators fan, but there is no way in hell I'm cheering for Boston in this series.
What is greatness? What is greatness? Like, is it totals or is it consistency? I think it's more consistency. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to effing Brad Marchand, it's always effing Brad Marchand.
It is.
Always.
Without fail. It's crazy.
Always. So is he an elite player in this league? He's got to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Should be in the Hart conversation.
He's also
this
an
year.
elite jackass.
Yeah.
But
I don't think Boston
he's
should have
good.
made the playoffs this year. If Brad Marchand gives you what Brad Marchand gave the Bruins last season, which I believe was still good. I don't have the numbers
But it
in front of
wasn't
me.
38 goals or whatever he had.
They don't make it. They don't make it. If Brad Marchand gives the Bruins the second best the second best season of his career so far, they don't make it. But he's giving them this.
Pittsburgh, Columbus. What do we think? Pittsburgh's up 1, which has got to be big for them.
It's not looking good for Columbus, man.
One game? And you're saying that?
Well, no. I mean, again, it's game 1.
It's not looking good.
Remember pregame when we did our playoff preview and we all picked Columbus?
I picked Penguins.
No, we all picked Columbus.
I'm pretty sure I picked Penguins.
Why do you think it's not looking good? Is Pittsburgh just too powerful on the offense, or is it? What is it?
I shouldn't say it's not looking good. You know what it was? Marc-Andre Fleury stood on his brain. But if you're gonna win a game, you would hope it'd be the Fleury game. It'd be a game where their defense is at their absolute least healthy.
Yeah.
And the Blue Jackets are like, just watch me. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, they'll take out 2 of their defensemen in the process. I just think game 1 was theirs for the taking, and they weren't able to take it.
If Matt Murray is healthy for game 2, do you start him?
Yes.
No.
You're crazy.
You go with Fleury.
You go with Fleury.
Yeah. Why?
How many saves did he make in the first game?
He was unbelievable.
Okay.
He won the cup for them last year, guys.
I know, but
Fleury won 2 cups.
No, one in 2008.
well,
Okay.
he won it as the
09.
backup.
As a goalie on the team.
Fair enough.
As
As a goalie
played
who dressed.
games.
Man, I guess, man. I just say that because, like, okay, let's play doctor and throw out random numbers. Let's say, when did the Penguins play? Wednesday? Mm-hmm. And it's Friday. Let's say Wednesday, Matt Murray was at 70%. So today's Friday. Is he at 100?
Yes.
In 2 days,
Yes.
he gained 30%.
Yes.
Sullivan said Fleury is starting. So there you go. Murray's not healthy enough.
This is what I'm saying. You wait until Murray is 100 or nothing, the way Fleury played. Fleury goes and lays an egg, then you go, what? You know what? 85% Matt Murray is better.
Okay. All right.
But, I mean, he was fantastic.
And, we were all about, hey, is Pittsburgh going to trade Marc-Andre Fleury? Is Pittsburgh going to trade Marc-Andre Fleury? Boy, is it a good decision to hang on to a guy who's won a cup before and could be a starter on pretty much most teams in the NHL, I would say. That's a pretty good goaltending tandem. What's the most important position in the NHL?
Goaltending.
Exactly. They are going to lose him, but...
I don't know that for sure, but that's a conversation for June. What was I about to say? I don't remember. Oh, every playoffs, at least one team needs 2 goalies. There are only a handful of teams in these playoffs that are really equipped for that. Mm-hmm. Penguins happen to be one of them.
Toronto.
Yep. Backup Annie.
Backup Annie for sure. Yeah. I think the Preds, if they need to rely on UC Saros, they can.
The Flames, kind of.
Kind of.
I like Jonas Korpisalo.
I don't.
No?
That is a step down from Bobrovsky, man.
Well, everybody's a step down from Bobrovsky.
But a step down.
Step
That
down.
step needs one of those signs out front where it says "Watch your step."
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
Mind the gap. Yes. All right. Edmonton, San Jose. A lot of people were drawing conclusions between the Leafs and Caps. Edmonton, San Jose. Here's the thing. Yes, the scores basically worked out the same. Yes, the way it played out basically worked out the same. However, go into the advanced numbers of that game. San Jose sort of dominated it.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I mean, I don't think the Caps were missing Nicholas Backstrom.
No.
The Sharks were missing Joe Thornton.
Mm-hmm. And his beard.
But they did have a 2-0 lead, and they could have buried it.
Yep.
Drake Caggiula's stick breaks. And there's another bounce. That one didn't favor the Oilers. Shattenkirk's stick breaks. Oh, nuts. Hey, wait. We got a goal anyway. Friggin' playoffs, man. Hockey, it'll break your heart.
It definitely will. And, I really wanted... it's Edmonton's first playoff game since they lost the cup.
It would have been way more fun.
I wish they'd won that game.
And
I bet they wish that too. It's at home, like the whole Orange Crush thing. Everybody's so excited.
2-0 lead.
Yeah. You know what I loved going in was what did they how did they put it out? They basically, threw to Edmonton from the studios, from the CBC studios in Toronto. And, you got the fans there, and they're just so jacked, and they're cheering. And the two people talking on the screen, I can't remember who it was on Sportsnet, they had, they couldn't hear each other. Mm-hmm. And, they're trying to do this live hit, and they can't hear. Yeah. And I'm like, I just wanted that for Edmonton so bad. But learning experience.
Yeah, I said it. It was kind of like, I want to say last year's Panthers, whole bunch of teams before them. The younger team takes their lumps in their first year. It just happens. Younger team takes their lumps.
What did you guys think of the $80 standing room ticket?
Okay, so
what? No, what's that?
That is the story that has kept eluding me. Can you please explain that?
Okay.
I kind of wanted to learn about it on the podcast.
Yeah, pull it up.
I saw a bunch of people freaking out. There's too much.
Is this in Edmonton?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In this series going forward, though, I still believe Edmonton can definitely do this.
Well, it is similar to the Leafs. I mean, they were right there. They're right there, except they have the home ice advantage, though.
Right.
Now, this series to me could potentially, well, every series, but this series to me is hugely altering for the Western Conference picture. Because I think if the Oilers win, they probably end up losing to the Ducks in round 2. Because I assume the Ducks beat the Flames. I'm just going with how my bracket works, right? Mm-hmm. But if the Sharks dominate, if the Sharks really prove they're another level compared to the Oilers, then they're a little bit better than I thought. They're a little bit closer to last year's team than I thought. And then all of a sudden, you get a big, ugly, heavy series between the Ducks and Sharks. And whoever comes out of that series is going to be a little bit broken up. Then whoever comes out of that top bracket in the West, you could be potentially picking at a carcass there. And there's your ticket to the Stanley Cup final. I don't know, man. You never know in the playoffs.
No, you don't.
I came up with a saying that I hope no one had before me because I think it was clever. When it comes to the Stanley Cup playoffs, what? June has a habit of making April Fools.
Oh, I like that. Round of applause.
Yeah, you do. I do.
Round
you
of
would.
applause.
Jesse's
like, I'll take it. I also want to say I'm shouting myself out when Mitch Marner scored, the Mitchuation tweet. That's a good Mitchuation. The situation.
I meant to tweet that, yeah. Jesus.
I think that deserves retweets, you guys. Come on. I sent that to you guys. Aren't you glad we're friends?
And I was very disappointed.
I tweeted amazing things like that. It's a Mitchuation.
Go retweet it.
I want to make him a shirt that says the Mitchuation. Jesse, what's the story?
The Edmonton Oilers, for their playoff games, they're selling concourse passes.
What on God's green earth is that?
I will read it out for you. Fans still hoping to be inside Rogers Place for Oilers playoff games are not shut out. The Edmonton Oilers are making available for sale a limited number of concourse passes for playoff home games. The passes will allow fans to be a part of the playoff atmosphere inside Rogers Place. Concourse passes will allow access to both the main concourse and upper concourse, but do not include a seat or a view of the ice surface. Purchasers of the concourse passes will be able to view the game on the many screens located around the concourses, including a number of large video walls. A limited number will be available on game nights at the north entry gates. First come, first served basis. Doors will open 2 hours prior to the game. Concourse passes are $80 each and payable via credit card. Passes are non-transferable.
All right, Oilers fans, I think you've been taking a beating from this podcast.
So what do you think?
Over the last few months? Your privileges to rip on Leafs fans revoked permanently. $80 to sit in hot dog and piss smell. $80.
No, not sit. You don't get a seat.
Sorry, stand
for 3 hours.
It's made very clear you don't get a seat.
You work your ass off all day doing whatever you do to pay $80 to be in the arena but not see the game.
You are that real life meme. You're that
What?
meme. You're that. Have you had people send you the meme? What it feels like to listen to podcasts, and it's a guy eating cereal next to a sign.
Yeah,
That's you. When all the fans go, yeah, guess what? A second later, you can also go, yeah.
No, but you're in the arena. You can go, yeah, too.
I hope, please tell me those TVs are behind. Please tell me they're actually behind.
There's a delay.
How annoying would that be? They're probably not. I can almost.
Well, and I was also thinking,
wait, $80 to stand in the concourse.
now I wonder, the concourse is not like the Oshawa Generals have a concourse, but you can see the ice pretty much from everywhere.
Yeah, well,
So concourse
that's a
pass
junior.
there would make sense, but I wonder in Rogers Arena, is there an open there?
Well, it's like the ACC, right? You
Yeah.
can't watch.
Right.
There might be some places in like the upper deck. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I was trying to think of how
Pittsburgh.
an angle, but you can't really.
If I remember correct, I think in Pittsburgh, if you're in the upper bowl, you can see.
It's just that the entrances to the seats aren't close enough to the ice to see from there. Like,
Right.
You can't stand where the stairs end and see the ice because you're too far up.
Islanders fans, you're off the hook. You're off the hook. Brooklyn fans, you're off the hook. The balls on the Oilers. The balls.
How many people buy this? A
Oh,
lot.
they sell out every game.
They sell-
Absolutely.
exactly.
They sell out every game. This is
What's the fire code deal there?
that's
Like,
exactly what it is.
How many of those seats can you sell?
just gonna
Sorry,
say.
I keep saying seats. How many of those tickets can you sell? What if you sell?
That's funny.
What if you sell 1,000 First of all, you know who's really ripped off? The people who paid for the seats. If it's $80 to stand in the concourse, imagine what the seats cost. And now it's intermission. I got 20 minutes to go get my hot dog and buy my little son and my little daughter a couple.
But all these peasants are in line.
Johnny
and I wait
Concourse
45 minutes in line because 1,000 people beat me there because they were already there. And I want to go to the bathroom. You better bring like a friggin' kayak paddle to American gladiators, Albertan gladiators. What a
The
stupid.
restrooms must be awful.
The
entire
just
game.
Dude, just
in
pee on the
Rogers Place,
pillar. Like, just
There's
don't
so
bother
many
using.
people.
yeah, there is. I mean,
How many are sold? I would love to
It says a
know.
limited number. They don't say exactly.
Limited
in
number. I'm
Pittsburgh?
hoping it's like only maybe a couple hundred max.
at Steeler games, there are certain bathrooms that are just troughs, right? They're just.
Yeah.
I feel like they need to do that more at hockey games. Like, I know it's nice that everybody gets their own sweet little urinal, but when you do the trough pee experience, you just get
It's
through
in
it
and out.
faster, right?
The trough pee experience.
And you can make the men's room smaller, the women's room bigger, because it needs to be
The only
bigger.
thing about the trough is for little kids when they go in the
That's
trough
tough.
and they're standing at dick level and they're getting the splashback.
Yeah.
Now,
not fun.
here's a question.
Yeah, that's when you take them to the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone try to do like a motorcycle in traffic when they're just like, yeah, I could fit another. We can all fit in here. We can
No,
cozy
it
in
kind of
here.
self-regulates. It self-regulates because nobody wants to be like touching someone else while they're
Yeah,
peeing.
but it's like when I worked at the zoo. Take the amount of people you know. How many of those people are crazy? Now put that on the scale of everyone who goes to the zoo. So, how many people do you know? How many of them are crazy? How many go to each Steelers
Well, okay,
game?
maybe in Florida it would be different, but Pennsylvanians are pretty nice. Florida would be like,
But if you got
it'd be
50,000
much crazier.
But every
50,000 people, yeah.
Yeah, I bet you Pennsylvania's got a Tim.
Because it's him.
Fucking Tim. Always timming it up.
Wait,
There's
no,
a
no.
little shoulder rubbing Tim.
Shane.
Oh,
Definitely a
fucking
Shane. Fucking Shane. Right?
Old pissing all over the place there, Shane.
Shane.
Rubbing elbows there, Shane.
I,
Messing up your stream.
you know the conversation with these Oilers passes, by the way, in the boardroom where we have extra room underneath our fire code. Like we have X amount of seats, X amount of box seats, and with security and everybody else in there, we have this many tickets to play with. We can absolutely do this, and you know what? With how remember it wasn't it? I think I was living in Calgary and Daryl Cates threatened to move the Oilers.
Didn't he do that like a month ago?
And then he got his arena.
Or was it?
happy.
Or was it?
No, that was the
Flames.
Yeah, because the
That was
Rogers
other-
Arena is brand new.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
But the Flames were like, "Huh? Well, it worked for Mr. Cates, so
Yeah.
we're gonna do it too." You're not moving the Flames from Calgary. Stop it. You'll figure out an arena deal with the city. The public will have to pay way too much money for a team that doesn't need it. Yeah, I get it. It's what happened in Edmonton. It's what will happen in Calgary. This is the way this goes. I totally understand.
Gerald Cates has had a rough news week.
He sure has. Did you see that story?
Yep.
Let's leave that. Let's not go there. Anaheim, Calgary. Fun game to watch. Tough series. That nobody's giving Calgary a snowball's chance in hell here, but I really feel like that right at the end of the game, wasn't it Gaudreau or was it Monahan that was in on?
I don't remember.
Like he was in on Gibson. That could have easily gone in. That game's tied.
Now, maybe the feistiest series of the first round. Two teams that genuinely hate each other. Two teams that embrace the hate, embrace the feistiness, the nastiness, all the stick work. Now, when did Ryan Kesler sit on the puck? How much time was left in the game?
That is a good question.
Because Tyler Dello had a great tweet that it just makes perfect sense. If you sit on the puck, like it's some kind of delay a game thing, and it's in the final 2 minutes, maybe we can negotiate what that number is. But if it's a certain lateness in the game, that's a penalty shot. That's not a penalty. That's a penalty shot. Like, okay, let's say there's 3 seconds left in the game. You're not convinced you can clear it. Shea Weber is there and Carlson and Subban for some reason. They're all on the same team now. And you
mean the Leafs in a couple years?
Yeah. And you throw the puck over the glass. It's a delay a game penalty.
Yeah.
So now the other team is on a power play with 3 seconds left in the game. Screw that. That's a penalty shot.
You can't change the rules at a certain time of the game. That's not how it works.
So I can just do in the final 10 seconds of the game, you're dead. You're dead meat. I'm going to take off my skate and we'll find out what slashing really is. Like, seriously. Dude,
that
escalated quickly. That might be an intent to injure. That's an intent to injure.
It's game 7. It's game 7. I'm about to retire. We're going to win the cup.
You go to jail.
Not if I... Man... Who's ever gone to jail for a 2-handed slash to the ankle? I'm winning this stupid cup.
You can't change the rules at a certain time of the game.
Then guess what? Good thing you have 2 ankles. Click. Good thing. Good thing. What are you going to give me, a 5-minute major? Spear.
So
why not?
When there's 10 seconds left, everybody bring out their guns.
It just becomes a gladiator match.
Shoot them in the face.
Throw your helmets.
Game over.
Why not? There's no consequences.
Well,
sit on the puck. Throw it. Just pick it up and throw it. Why not? There's 10 seconds left.
Try picking up a puck in the middle of an NHL game.
Yeah, really.
And don't get your hand chopped off.
Listen, is Ryan Kesler...
Oh, so we can chop off hands?
Is Ryan Kesler top 10 among the most hateable players in the NHL?
Oh, my God, yeah. But
yes.
You know what? For a guy whose contract we absolutely lambasted, shit, this is where he earns that money.
Absolutely.
This is what the Ducks are paying him for.
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily the regular season.
And he's a Selke candidate this year.
Maybe. He's in the conversation for sure. Mm-hmm. And damn it, if he wasn't one of the best players in that game.
St. Louis beat Minnesota.
Jake Allen beat Minnesota. The difference a few months make.
Crazy, isn't it? Crazy. And, of course, Nashville beat Chicago in overtime. I think we need to go through our brackets. Do you guys remember your brackets?
I'm like
I think
1 for 7.
Are you?
I had a rough first day.
Good. Tell me. Who do you have going all the way? Who are your finals?
I hate it, but I think I had the Ducks taking on the Caps in the final, and the Caps win.
See, what Steve told me he was going to do, Jesse, was he was going to not play with his head, he was going to play with his heart. Going to play with his heart. And Steve said, I'm going to go Toronto Maple Leafs in the East, and then I'm going to pick whatever team in the West.
I should have.
And
I
Steve,
regret it. Iggy picked the Leafs. Friggin' Iggy.
See, Steve, that's a
what did you pick, Jesse? What'd you go with?
I went with Washington, Minnesota.
Because Jesse...
Minnesota?
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's not looking good.
I went with Washington, Edmonton, sorry.
Whoa.
Also not looking good.
Wow. Yeah. I went with Toronto, Nashville. So at least I could get half of it right.
So you get to go.
So I get to go to the game.
And you get to see the Leafs.
And I get to see the Leafs. Because remember, if Nashville makes it, we get Jesse and I both get free tickets.
Not Steve.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You're coming, though.
That'll
You're
be like
coming.
Almost everyone I know going to Nashville because they were invited, except for me. It'll
You're
be
coming.
like you two. My cousin's going there for his bachelor party. My wife's going for a bachelorette. Just
If we're
everyone
going
move to Nashville.
if we're going to he's coming.
No, he wasn't on the
Okay,
team.
He's not
here's
allowed
what-
to come.
here's what
He's not
happens.
even allowed to. He's not allowed to go on his own either.
We'll all fly together.
Tell the Predators to ban this man from the building.
This
We'll
is
make
no
up some fake
Steve.
reasons.
We'll be like, we'll call in a threat and
Yeah,
then
a bomb
fax them
threat.
Steve's
Oh
picture.
my God! Yeah, which you can do in the final 10 seconds of the game.
Yeah,
No
You're
penalties.
not
No
bomb.
penalties.
Imagine
Hey, I
Kessler
didn't say
just going,
bomb threat. I just said threat.
Yeah.
See, I didn't say what the threat would
No,
be.
it'll be a
Just
bomb
like,
threat.
hi, I'm Steve, and you are threatened. It'd be wow.
We'll attach these
Do the
pictures to it.
Predators have concourse passes that I can buy?
Also, small note on that. Edmonton's also charging $5 for a watch party in the arena. On the
On
the
a
Sunday
screen?
game. So you can come to the arena and watch the game on the screen for $5.
Inside or outside?
Inside. See, ours is free.
To my knowledge,
outside.
yeah, Maple Leaf Square is still free. They have like metal detectors
And beer.
and stuff like that. Oh, do they sell
Don't they
beer
have
now?
beer?
I
Don't they
don't
have
know.
beer? Oh.
I don't know. I should probably know that. I'm hosting,
You're hosting
the
it.
thing. On
But if you want to go watch any road game, you can go inside Rogers Place for $5.
well, that's a little different.
I like that.
That's okay.
Watch it on the Jumbotron there. Yeah,
That's
Watch on
okay.
the-
I like that.
That's okay. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, the Jays did that for the first World Series when they won in Philly. They actually had the Rogers Center Skydome at the time filled to the brim. Like they had 55,000 people freaking out, and the Jays weren't even there. It's pretty cool.
There's
Pretty,
got to be
pretty cool.
footage of that.
There is.
I've
There is.
never
Yeah.
seen it.
I think there's like when teams used to win championships, and then the team would put
No.
out like a
Sorry.
like a DVD or
Yeah.
or in this case VCR VHS thing. I think I had one, and I think it was the '92 series.
Wow.
And it was hilarious because Philly fans, man, even back then were Philly fans. So like some of the stuff they capture in the crowd.
What are you nuts?
It's amazing. It's just amazing.
You know what's great? So there are so many series where you could see it potentially getting ugly in the stands, and certain fan bases really don't like each other. What was great was after the Caps win it in overtime, they go to a couple Leafs fans in the stands. I'm like, oh boy, what's gonna happen here? And they're just pleasantly shaking hands. Just pleasantly shaking hands. Fucking Caps fans. Damn it, why did it have to be them?
It's a very civil city.
I'm glad it's them, and I'm also not glad it's them. Man, after that game, I got chirped by like a grand total of like half a dozen Caps fans. Islanders fans, Sens fans, Canucks fans, Habs fans. Actually, a few of them are pretty nice. Flames fans. Who the fuck are any of you? Who are you? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's the Caps. The Caps and no one else. No Canadian team has won.
Not one. Not one.
We're all in this miserable bullshit
Well,
together.
and that's the funny part is that any team fan of a Canadian franchise, either you're not in the playoffs or you haven't won a game yet either. So good times.
all bad.
Babcock says that Zaitsev is expected to miss game 2.
Ah,
Unfortunate.
well, better that he be healthy.
Yes.
Better that he be healthy. This is not the year that they are the Stanley Cup favorites. I want them to win the cup, no question. But long-term health is more important here. I want
Nick
when
fucking
he's
Foligno.
when he's 50, I want him to be able to walk downstairs and play with his kids and his grandkids and whatever. That's what's important. So
The only
Or
thing weighing him down
we
will
get a
be his
Stanley Cup.
5 cup rings.
yeah. That's right. So here's a really interesting story, and it's kind of a departure. St. Louis, the city, is doing something very, very interesting. Are you ready for
They're
this?
charging $80.
They're not.
You can watch.
No, St. Louis, not the team, not the Blues. St. Louis used to have a team. In what sport?
NFL.
Yeah.
I'm smart.
What happened to them?
They died.
They didn't die. No.
Oh, they moved to Los Angeles.
Yeah, they went to a new school there.
New school.
They went to a new school. They had to transfer schools.
It's a shame.
The city of St. Louis, the county of St. Louis, and the St. Louis Regional Convention and Sports Complex Authority are suing the NFL and all of its teams, with many owners individually named as defendants, for damages arising from the relocation of the Rams.
Good.
They're suing the entire league.
Good. Fuck you. Like, I don't even care if they have a leg to stand on. It's just
Well, here's what the lawsuit alleges. The lawsuit alleges that the Rams secretly decided to move from St. Louis, that the Rams lied to St. Louis officials regarding the team's intention. I'm not really surprised by that because we all knew the LA thing was coming for like 2 years. And they're like, no, we're committed to St. Louis. And the league failed to comply with its terms, with its own relocation policy terms in allowing the Rams to leave St. Louis. It lists several false statements from Rams owner Stan, is it Kroenke?
Kroenke.
And executive VP of football operations, Kevin Demnoff. For example, Kroenke allegedly said in 2010, "I'm going to attempt to do everything I can to keep the Rams in St. Louis. I've always stepped up for pro football in St. Louis. I'm stepping up one more time. I'm born and raised in Missouri. People in our state know me. People know I can be trusted." Come on. People know I'm an honorable guy. Kroenke bought the land that will become the site of the team's new stadium. Allegedly, he said it's not a piece of land that's good for any football stadium when he bought it. And that, I believe, he said the size and shape aren't good for football. And then Demnoff said at a fan forum that it was a 1 in a million chance that the Rams would leave St. Louis, and that was in 2014, and they left 2 years later. Now, we all know what it's like to have executives talk, and they have to. I mean, I don't imagine that. I don't know if Stan Kroenke's an honorable guy or not. I have no idea. But he's a business owner, and he was like, Los Angeles doesn't have a team. There's a lot of money and a lot of people in Los Angeles. I think it might be a good idea to move my team there. However, if they did not follow their own relocation policy rules, which I think is important, then I think St. Louis has a case.
absolutely. I don't know. I hope they win based on nothing other than fuck these guys. Like, society is a good thing. Civilization is a good thing. Rules and laws are a good thing. But don't you just feel like some people just ought to be tied to something and have fruit thrown at them for like a while?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a bad guy in like a bad stage performer in Pinocchio.
You know who I think needs that? Jeffrey Loria. Do you know who Jeffrey Loria is?
I forget.
The last owner of the Montreal Expos. The guy who swore.
Oh, that fuck.
And Florida Marlins fans also love Jeffrey Loria because he's now the crazy ass owner of the Florida Marlins
And the Knicks guy. And
the Knicks guy he's funny, I think, sometimes, except for the Charles Oakley stuff.
Yeah, James Dolan.
But somebody was like, "Hey," to James Dolan at the game. They're like, "Hey, James Dolan called me a fucking asshole," and they asked James Dolan about it. He's like, "Yeah, I did," because he's a fucking asshole, which is very New York.
Part of
I
me
like
is
that.
like, you know what? At least he said it.
Yeah, yeah.
Goodell would have been like, I never would have said that. I appreciate all our fans. Just shut the fuck up.
And it's your right as an American to say.
It's your right as an American to be an asshole.
That's my favorite thing that politicians say in the United States. Thank you for the question.
Thank you for the question.
And it's your right as an American to ask.
That's one of those things where
Don't patronize
like if you
me.
look up "thank you for your question" in the dictionary, it would be "you motherfucker."
And also, I'm not answering this.
Question. You motherfucker.
I think at this point we should expect billionaires to be dicks, and St. Louis should expect.
That's how you get
Is
to
that
be
how
a
you
billionaire.
become a billionaire?
Yes.
Like, is Oprah a shitty person?
I'm sure
we
there are
just don't
people out
know
there
it?
that don't like Oprah. I'm sure very few, but I'm sure you can find people that.
Have you met Oprah?
I've never met Oprah. I would love to.
Has your mom met
that would be
Oprah?
a dream. Yes, she has. Yeah,
You know what's great?
She interviewed her
When you
years
asked,
ago.
When you asked,
I love Oprah.
have you ever met Oprah? And he said no, I was surprised.
Yeah, I thought
That's
my
how
God.
important Adam is.
No, it's not true at all. But I would.
Important.
Oprah's important, and that would be a dream interview. I would love to talk to Oprah. I'd love to have Oprah on this podcast. I think we could have fun with Oprah.
Leafs are going away.
You get a cup. You get a cup. Yeah.
The refs last night, they were like, you get a penalty.
And
You know what's great? She's been on TV for like 30 plus years.
And that's
we
what you know
remember
for.
her for everyone gets a car.
My favorite Oprah moment was when Oprah was on Fresh Prince. That was my favorite. And that's back when the Oprah Winfrey show was like Maury Povich.
Yeah.
And Sally Jesse Raphael.
Oh.
It was a
She
really
used to do
dirty
the
show.
pregnancy stuff.
Yeah, man. It was a dirty show back in the day. And then it became this they rebranded it and
I looked at,
cleaned it up.
There's like a compilation of like crazy talk show moments from like the early to mid 90s.
The 90s were whack, man.
There's an Al Sharpton clip. And I was just like, how was he allowed to be Al Sharpton after that aired?
Yeah.
How? And he's still today Al Sharpton.
I think
How was he allowed to still be Al Sharpton?
Daquan on Instagram, I think, pulled up some old Blink-182 footage from one of their concerts, and there's like a whole bunch of their like joke songs on their albums that like, you know, it's Christmas Eve, and my grandpa just ate 7 fucking hot dogs, and he shit his pants. He's always fucking shitting his pants, and like, and they're like, the 90s were crazy, man.
My parents did not allow that, but my neighbors across the street who were basically feral children. Like everyone had the kids who were allowed to do whatever the fuck they wanted.
Yes,
and
they're in jail now.
I went into their garage. Maybe I went into their garage, and I remember the first time they played that Blink album with
Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Yeah, and it was just like, holy shit, this is amazing.
People can say this.
And again, another time we went and saw a movie, me and a few friends and their mom. And like we were really young. We're talking like grade 5 here. And I don't remember what it was, but after that movie was done, they snuck us in. I'd never snuck into a movie before. The movie they snuck us into was There's Something About Mary.
Oh my God.
And I remember just, I can't believe we didn't get kicked out of the theater because just swearing was funny. I'm in grade 5. Swearing's hilarious. And I can't believe I'm hearing it. And just dying laughing.
Oh my God.
Busting a gut laughing.
I remember.
I don't even remember what happened.
I was 12 or 13, and for some reason, my parents let me buy the Marshall Mathers LP that had just come out. And the first track on the Marshall Mathers LP is "Thank you for purchasing this album, or Eminem's new album. By buying this album, you have just sucked his dick." Yeah. And like, we had it on in the car with my cousins who were like 2, and it was like, oh shit.
My buddy, I got it for Secret Santa in grade 7, 6 or 7.
I think it came out summer grade 7 or something like that. Yeah.
And yeah, I remember my buddy being like, "Don't tell your parents you got this," and I opened it and I'm like, "No fucking way! How did you get this?" And again, parents don't give a shit. That kid's parents didn't give a shit. Mine did. And I remember just like listening to it on my Walkman, sitting on the couch, like my dad on the left, mom on the right, and they have no idea. I'm just listening to like the most poisonous album to.
It was a dark album.
Holy shit! The
like
first time I heard Kim.
Kim is a scary song.
Oh, like I remember again the swearing. I'm just like, swearing's awesome, and then Kim comes on, and I'm like, that was enough to make like a 7th grader blush. I was like, no, that's fucked up. I'm gonna turn this off.
And the Steve Berman track, which I don't know how much detail I want to get into about that. Where it's
basically,
you know
what it feels like to be told to go fuck yourself.
Yeah. So whack, man.
I remember when I was 12 and kids' favorite movie was Teen America. And and like I look back at it now, I'm like, how was this our favorite movie in grade 8?
So
holy shit, that was so great though. Oh my God.
To go with Steve batting near 0 with girls. The only girlfriend I had before my wife, like within the first week of us dating, like our first date, I was like, let's go see a movie. What's out right now? We fucking went and saw Team America.
The doll poops on the other doll.
The sex scene was awkward.
Puppets fuck on our first date.
I didn't know.
I think
I didn't know.
Have you ever laughed so hard you peed? Like that was the first movie I can remember. I actually peed. Like no, I had a little drop and I was like, I have to leave because I had to pee so bad. Well, because I got the big gulp like freaking large movie popcorn and big ass pop, and I'm drinking this thing and I have to go, and then he shits on.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't know. I was
barfs for a solid 30 minutes.
It is messed up, that movie.
Let's show this to 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's a good thing this podcast is marked explicit. Holy crap.
I know. What's great is...
holy crap, indeed.
Holy
gosh darn.
Good Friday.
That's... Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of you are listening to this on your way to like family Easter
Church.
dinner. Yeah, church. Yeah, the South Park guys talk about how miserable that movie was to make and how hard it was to make. Imagine making a real movie instead of Team America.
Yeah.
How hard it must be to make like Avatar.
Yeah.
These guys made
with marionettes.
Team America. We've saved you. You are welcome. Oh my god.
Oh man.
It's okay though. The world has gotten way less crazy.
Yeah,
since
no.
then.
I just, it's just funny when you look back on what was considered pretty mainstream, like American Pie and the stuff that came out. If that came out now, the freaking Moms Council would be all over that shit. Like they're already mad at Ellen for just being gay,
Go back,
like
or Paul Rudd.
for being gay on TV.
go back to the late 60s.
Dude, she lost a sitcom because of that.
Yeah.
The main dude on network television was threatening to punch his wife in the face every week. Right to
The moon, Alice. Yeah.
Right to the moon.
That's
That
true.
was television.
And that was when conservatism really ruled, right? Like that was.
Oh, I don't know. You're the American historian, Adam.
Well, I mean, it was a pretty conservative time, right? That's why the '60s, kind of late '60s movements happened.
my essay to get into radio and television arts. Remember when we had to write? Mine was called Sour Grapes, and it was about how Don Cherry can get away with whatever the fuck he wants.
That's a good point.
Man, the stuff he said in like the late '80s, early '90s. Holy shit!
Yeah, man, he said some
He
crazy
couldn't
stuff.
say it today. He
No.
couldn't. Like even he would get fired.
Yeah, he was the guy that was advocating not wearing visors
I'm pretty sure he still does.
and blamed it on the French, just the Frenchies.
Man, the one thing that we never
Like,
got.
that was a thing.
The one thing we never got that we were robbed of as television viewers was we got Don Cherry lambasting, I think it was Pavel Bure and the Canucks.
For what?
It was a rumor about Bure holding out on the Canucks before the playoffs. Like, I'm not going to play the first playoff game if you don't renegotiate my contract, something like that.
Which was probably just a rumor, right?
But then they had Pat Quinn, who was with the Canucks at the time, on with Ron McLean. And if Don Cherry was right there at that moment, they would have thrown hands. It would have been bad. But it would have been so amazing to just have Pat Quinn, Ron McLean in the middle,
grizzled dudes.
and Don Cherry just. We missed like what should have been the greatest shouting match in Canadian television history.
But that's back in when television actually aspired to be like a moral high ground. Like they wouldn't have put
that
those.
was the Maury Povich era.
Well,
man.
yeah, but they wouldn't put those two on TV together because they wouldn't want that to get out of hand. It's in Canada.
Well,
Now it's like put them on. Put them on.
when it comes to TV, it's always like, okay, if a fight goes down, who would break it up? You're not breaking up Don Cherry, Pat Quinn, 20, 25 years younger. Nuh-uh. No.
I'm not sure if our American listeners have seen this, but there is a clip of a CFL like Hall of Fame reunion thing. So Canadian Football League Hall of Fame reunion thing.
Yeah!
Where guys,
Oh, they've
two
seen
guys,
that made ESPN.
so two guys who like hated each other in the 60s are now in their 80s, and one of them beats the other with a cane, and the other one comes back at him with a walker. It's the craziest fight I've ever
Type
seen.
in just like what CFL alumni fight.
Oh my god. Yeah. Wild. Absolutely wild. That like it's just stuff that you're like, I can't believe. Anyway, we're totally off track here.
I also like Milt Stegall lambasting that reporter too.
What why?
That clip. He's like, what do you know about athletics? Lecturing me on being a professional athlete. What have you ever done? Guy's like, I played junior hockey, and he's like, oh wow, junior hockey.
I've never
Milt
seen that.
Stegall I think he should be bigger in Canadian TV.
He's awesome. Oh, here's the fight right here. And it's a shame, but it's also like, you know what? I respect the passion. They still hate each other's guts.
I want to know why this happened. Oh, it's great. It's perfect timing because Jesse's
He's changing the camera, so we'll
Redoing
have
the
him
battery.
insert this into the. So
So what is this? Is he going for a handshake?
I think so.
he
I don't know
pulling
what
it
he
back?
says. That's the problem. Oh, and here's the thing. Yeah, he hits him with the microphone, and then the guy hits him with the cane.
Oh my God! Whoa, haymaker! You're joking me. And those guys are all the way old.
Yeah.
Those guys are retirement home old. Oh, you shouldn't have done that to that man, though. You don't punch a guy with a cane.
Well, yeah. So the
Jeez.
guy who can stand without the cane, like I think, basically go to the other guy, and he
Oh,
said, and
100%.
wave the microphone out of his face.
Oh,
and-
he's 100% in the wrong. He started that and he ended it, and it was the guy with the cane who he hit.
And what's he got? He's mad. Wow. He's got like a
Did
flower.
that, like, here's my question: does that ceremony continue?
I think it would have to.
Steve.
Were
not
those
just
guys
watching
on
YouTube.
Dr. Phil?
No, that wasn't on Dr. Phil.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
just another.
Oh,
That's just
these
a
are
playthrough video.
Videos Jesse's watched because it's me, it's Kendrick Lamar. It's a mix.
It's recommended for Jesse.
Is that album good?
I've only listened to it once, so I can't really judge.
You need a you need
That
a
is
double.
interesting,
You need
yeah.
a double listen to something.
It's very unfair.
Okay. Well, where do we go from here?
Well, I actually have a couple more things before we do the press conference.
Thanks, YouTube, for telling me I have to watch LFR Game 1.
First off, Deadspin posted this hilarious picture from a guy who is the head coach of the Texas Longhorns, and he has a football hydration chart, and it measures how yellow your pee is. Steve did not hear that. Steve's trying to get his phone
how
charged.
yellow your pee is.
Do you let that sink in for you for a second?
Sorry, oh no,
There's
I
a
thought there was
coach.
something else to that.
There's a coach who is measuring how yellow his player's pee is. Think about that for a second.
Steve's like, yeah.
Seems pretty legit. I don't know. I just want to make sure I can check Twitter later. That's all.
You weren't paying attention, damn it. Stop.
Is Mindy even still here?
Yeah, she's underneath the bench.
Oh,
You're
okay,
right, underneath the bench. I think she's sleeping.
So,
She's sleeping.
Steve, you
So-
weren't paying attention.
No.
So-
Because in my head, what I heard was like some sports science person is measuring the pee.
No.
And I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
No.
Scientists measure pee.
His name is Tom Herman, and he is known to be very detailed. So there is a Longhorn football hydration chart. And the first three colors of pee, which are clear, a little bit yellow, and a little bit more yellow, are championship hydration level pee.
Wait.
So you...
No.
Yes.
No. Is that what he lists it as?
Championship hydration levels.
Okay, what happened to
Then
this
there is
guy?
a red line.
What's up with this guy? What's his deal?
There's a red
What's
line
his story?
where it gets a little bit more yellow. And then so number 4 and 5 a little bit more yellow than each other, than 1, 2, and 3. That is considered charted as a selfish teammate. That's a selfish teammate level of hydration. And then 6 and 7, which are like a darker yellow and then an almost orange color, which basically means you've been drinking too much Red
Blood.
Bull. Blatant disregard for your teammates. You are headed to Area 51, which I guess is a bad thing.
I assume that means you'll never play for this team.
Maybe. And then number
That's
8.
Madagascar.
Then there's number 8, which is brown, and I've never had a brown pee before.
Yeah, are you okay?
It just says you are a bad guy, which I think it should say you should seek medical attention. Like you need an IV drip stat.
Brown
pee's bad.
Medical attention is required
But-
in this situation. Yes.
But Anwar Richardson tweeted, he was a reporter there, Longhorn football hydration chart.
That's a joke. It's got to be a joke.
I don't know. I can't tell. Apparently, he's very detailed. So this is part of the detailed program. He's trying to teach the guys how to live and how to eat and how to drink properly.
What's this guy's deal? Like
I wanna know more
like
about
if his
Tom
team
Herman.
is up by 20 points with 10 minutes to go in the fourth, does he tell him, "Hey, can someone warm up the Gatorade?"
Maybe.
Coach, we won. And he's just enjoying it a little too much. Like, what's this guy's deal?
It's weird.
What's his deal? That's not okay.
It's not okay.
Also, these are college students.
This is how I knew Steve didn't listen to me
Yeah,
because I knew this would be
now
his
he's paying
reaction.
attention.
This is why I knew it would be your reaction.
You know what, Adam?
Hey, Steve, is your phone charged?
Don't you already have enough properties in this city? You know, you got the down south one, you got the one across the street from the building, and you're living in the past.
Oh, that was good. Okay.
It took me a while to get there.
Yeah, no, but we
what's
follow.
this guy's problem?
I don't
And
know,
also,
man. I don't know.
Texas Longhorns?
Texas Longhorns.
College athletes,
Yep.
unpaid college athletes. He's measuring the urine.
Steve, they're paid in education.
Oh, fuck yourself.
They're paid in education, Steve.
Oh, my God. Is
So-
someone going to investigate
So
this?
does he ask his players, "Hey,
I
give
think
me
that's-
your urine"?
I think it's just more of like if you spot your teammates urine looking shitty.
Does
Then
he
you
go
have to call them
into
out.
the washrooms? And
Man, I don't know.
collect
Football is
it.
weird, man.
We just found Tim. What's this guy's name?
Tom
Tom.
Herman.
I was a little off. He's nuzzling up next to you at the trough. Hey there, boys.
Now,
How about them Steelers?
if you're the coach of the Longhorns,
He is eyes down.
that is pressure. Like if the Longhorns don't, football
What's
is
that about pressure? If your water pressure's not strong enough, you're not drinking enough.
football in Texas is a whole new level. And if you
Everything's bigger in Texas, am I right?
you lose a game, it's like, well, it's time to let the coach go. He's gone. He should go. He obviously doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Even if they've got it's like they are 10-1. That one, that's unacceptable.
What do you think of the game so far? Just one quarter away from the champagne of victory. Let's go. How you guys doing? My name's Tom. Just checking out.
Now, if you
What's
have
his favorite bird?
what?
The woodpecker.
Oh,
sorry.
stop it!
I just wanted to say
stop it.
pecker.
That would be the peacock.
And
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
lastly, I wanted to tell you something, pop culture-wise. Jesse and I actually wanted to tell you something. It was Jesse that found this story.
Yes.
But this is a very important pop culture note for everybody listening to this show. Very, very important. Remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, we had
Yes.
the birth of reality TV.
Survivor.
Yeah. What were the other great shows other than Survivor that were reality-based?
Big Brother was big.
Big Brother still is. Bachelor,
Still big.
still big.
Yeah, Bachelor took a while. Paradise Island.
Paradise Island was huge.
MTV's The Real World Challenge.
Yes.
And then the spin-off Real World Road Rules Challenge.
And Punk D.
Please, not The
Punked.
Apprentice.
Not The Apprentice, no.
Okay.
No, this is one that's been canceled and it's coming back from that era.
American Gladiators.
No, that's been canceled a couple times, sadly, because I loved American Gladiators. Both times.
Slam Ball.
Bonsai! I loved watching Slam Ball.
Slam Ball was hilarious.
Yeah.
I loved watching Slam Ball. That
They
was
are
the best.
bringing back
Roller Derby.
Fear Factor.
With who?
So here's the fun
Yeah.
part. And this is the best tweet, all right? You already know Fear Factor going to be Ludacris.
No.
So Ludacris is hosting, no more Joe Rogan, hosting the reboot.
He's already said, like,
No.
in interviews, he's like, no, you have to be high to do that show. Like,
So Ludacris is going to host and exec produce, which, by the way, is so, like, whatever. You put your
Ludacris
executive producer.
used to be one of the biggest musical acts in the world.
And now MTV is bringing the show back. It's not going to be on NBC. It's on an MTV. I think they're still owned by. Are they owned by Viacom still? I think
Viacom does own MTV. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if they own
What
NBC.
happened to
If that's GE or something.
Yeah. They bought the rights.
They bought the rights. So they're bringing back Fear Factor. They're bringing in Ludacris. Now, here's the thing with this show. You remember with the original Fear Factor, you had
was Exhibit busy?
Yeah. Well, we think.
That's what I said. I would rather have a Pimp My Ride remake than
Me too.
Fear Factor.
Me too. Way better.
So much better.
However,
Internet would love it.
It's Fear Factor. So Fear Factor's coming back. Steve, tell me. Do you remember? Did you watch Fear Factor at all?
Oh,
ever?
yeah.
Okay. What kind of challenges would they do?
They'd like eat bull dicks and
Yeah.
bull balls.
And then they'd hang.
worms.
They'd be suspended from crazy heights and that sort of thing.
Okay. There was an episode where they had like father-son Fear Factor.
Whoa.
And it was like kids dangling from a helicopter. Oh, it's insane. It's insane.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So here's the fun part about Fear Factor now. Because Fear Factor, because it's running on MTV, is not targeting Generation Z, which is the generation before millennials. You know, they were targeting 20-year-olds who were born back then in like the late 70s, right? Because it was, you know,
Network TV.
network TV.
Yeah.
But you were targeting young adults in 2000, which meant if you were a young adult in 2000, you were born between 75 and 80, right?
Okay, sure.
Now, with the millennial generation starting at 1981, they're going after the millennials generation. So they're going to change up the challenges. Because eating worms, that was a big deal to Generation Z. And being suspended from big heights, that was a big deal to Generation Z.
BuzzFeed article. Are you fucking with me?
No, this is
It's
real.
actually Narcity.
This is a Hollywood Reporter, so it's legitimate article.
Is this someone snarky on Vice being like, here's what the show is going to
No,
be?
but it sounds like Vice could have written this.
Yeah.
The new incarnation of Fear Factor will flip the script on its targeted Generation Z audience. And instead of gross out challenges like you said, Steve, like eating worms, it'll be more playful with the hope of providing a cathartic tension release along the way. So more playful. What do you think that means?
Hot wings.
Hot wings.
The first thing that came to mind was Hot Ones. Have you ever seen Hot Ones?
No.
Basically, there's this guy who brings celebrities on, and he does serious interviews with them while eating increasingly spicier wings.
That's funny. I like that.
It is funny. Like, by the end, they swear at him, and they're like, I hate you.
That's cool. I like that. The newly designed stunts are geared at tapping into visceral fears of today's anxious youth.
Okay.
The visceral fears of today's anxious youth. Great use of words. Visceral. It's a great word.
I asked someone to dance in grade 6. Okay. How do they get me to go back in time?
Here's what they'll do.
Okay.
Here's some of the examples they provide. So it's going to tap into the visceral fears of today's anxious youth, such as couch surfing at 300 feet and waterlogging one's personal cell phone. So you're going to have to go on Fear Factor and dunk your phone in the toilet.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Isn't that amazing? I know what'll get the millennials. They won't be able to go on Twitter for 24 hours. Woo! Oh, crazy. Jim.
What?
Jim, you are nuts. You are nuts.
What silver-foxed friggin' power suit without a tie wearing 45-year-old came up with this show? 100% that's who it is, right?
Yep.
Devin Weston from GTA 5 came up with this show.
Inspired by urban legends.
Hey, Slick, I got a great idea for a show. Remember Fear Factor? Same shit.
My daughter's always on this iPhone thing. We should take that away from her and put it on Fear Factor.
We're going to go. So here's what. So Ludacris would be like, y'all already know, because he starts every sentence with y'all already know. What's good? It's Ludacris. So y'all already know we're going to freak you out because it's Fear Factor. Y'all already know. Except you probably don't already know. We're going to go into your Instagram and delete all your pictures. Whoa!
$10,000
Wait, is that
challenge.
actually one of them?
No, but it probably would be. I'm not, like, it's not, they haven't named everything they're going to do.
I don't think this is going to be great. Because, okay, like Joe Rogan.
Wow.
No, sorry. I don't think this is going to be great.
Wow.
Sorry. Ludacris. I don't think Ludacris is going to be good. Because Joe Rogan is a screaming lunatic who's high. And he's, oh shit! Like, you kind of need that for a show like that. Ludacris,
Chill, man.
I get the impression, like, he is not what you saw in music videos. Ludacris in interviews has the personality of a bologna sandwich. Like, this is not going to be entertaining. Oh man, your phone's wet. Your phone's wet. Splash waterfalls, and then one of his songs starts to play. Oh, I remember that from 2004. That's nostalgia for
I
me.
love Ludacris.
Oh my God, that's why they got Ludacris.
Because I'm a millennial and I like you, Ludacris.
Millennials like Ludacris. Put in Ludacris. What's Ludacris doing?
For our
That
next
relevant rapper.
for our next challenge, Ludacris is going to lick you from your head to your toe. Come on,
All right,
right?
guys. So we got your phones suspended from a tower at the Georgia Dome at the 50-yard line. Where the Dirty Birds, is that what they're called? Is that the name of the team? Have they moved? Is that the name? Holy fuck.
It's going to be great.
Executive producer Devin Weston, I'm telling you.
Here we go. So inspired by urban legends. So like stuff you find on probably on why can't I think of it? It's where you repin. Pinterest. Not notes, where you pin notes. What is it? Tumblr. I'm sure inspired by like Skinny Man or Slender Man on
Slender
Tumblr.
Man.
Skinny Man. Skinny Man's Jesse.
Nope.
Scary movies and online videos from the Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist.
I know.
Oh.
Contestants will be pushed beyond their comfort zones, where their body's physiological responses will take over. Each hour-long episode will feature 8 contestants pairing up in teams of 4 teams of 2. Think siblings, college rivalries, roommates, best friends, co-workers,
Same
and
show.
exes facing off for a cash prize.
Same show. Still the same show. That is the same show. That is from 2000.
I just want you to know that show is about to exist.
So
And
how
you
do you-
already know it's going to be Ludacris.
Oh!
Yeah.
What's more important? this or Heidi and Spencer having a child.
Are they having a child?
They have a child.
They have a child.
They've announced that Heidi is pregnant, and they are making a child, and it is about to come out of her.
That is a step above. Like Heidi Montag and Spencer, what's his
Pratt?
fucks?
No, Spencer.
Phil Kessel's cousin.
Spencer Pratt.
Yeah, I got it right. Okay.
Those two in the news today, like I would be just as interested in a story involving like the voice actors from Biker Mice from Mars.
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, what is
Biker
that?
Mice from Mars was the best show ever. It was about biker mice from Mars.
I'd rather
know
watch
what
The
that is.
Adventures of Pluto Nash than see anything with those two on it again. Should we do the press conference now that you know that Fear Factor is coming back?
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
What does Iggy get if he wins the bracket challenge?
A pig ear. Nah, he always
Does he like pig ears?
he loves pig ears, but he always friggin' shits like a fire hose after.
Yeah.
A large, delicious treat.
He deserves a pig ear. It's
I'll
not his
try to
problem.
get
He
him-
goes to the bathroom afterwards. right?
That's true.
Do you guys see a PK for Weber trade happening this summer? Like something similar on that magnitude.
Oh, I thought you meant them trading back.
No, just something similar on that magnitude.
There's gonna be a lot of weird going on.
I think there's going to be some weirdness
Yeah.
for sure. I see a Noah Hannafin trade,
Yeah,
and I think the Leafs will pursue him.
yeah.
I think Noah Hannafin fits in really well with the Leafs, and I see them giving up a prospect for him, or two, prospect and a pick. But I think,
It'll have to be quite a bit.
yeah, but I think Noah Hannafin's a Leaf by the end of the summer, and I think Carl Alsner's a Leaf by the end of the summer.
Do you?
I do. I really believe Carl Alsner. Or if he wants to go back to the West, I mean, Calgary and Edmonton are both looking for D like him. Calgary's always looking for good defense.
Who's not looking for good D?
Exactly. I don't know. I think there's going to be a big monumental shift trade for sure. There will be one.
I think.
I don't know if it'll be a 1-for-1 though, like those two deals, like the Hall for Larson and the Subban for Weber.
Well, if you look at it though, if you're an executive, you probably look at Hall for Larson as a victory for Edmonton because of how Edmonton's done this year, and you probably look at the Subban Weber trade as, well, Habs won their division, Preds got in, worked out for them too. So I think the fear to pull the trigger on a move like that will be lessened. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
New question from Steve D. Did you know it was Adam's birthday yesterday?
Oh, I got a birthday card from Steve. Jesse brought me cupcakes.
After you open that, we'll talk.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh.
You are one in a melon. See, it's a melon. You are one in
Steve's
a melon.
very good at cards.
Yeah.
Is it you or SL who's good?
It's SL.
It's
All
SL.
right, hang on. This card is dedicated to your big fucking head. Old James the Giant Peach Ass. Happy birthday, not Kevin. Love
I
Steve.
didn't know you were going to read it.
Love Steve, SL, Iggy, and Dina. And what is this? Oh, 2 tickets to the TFC?
Yeah.
What? Are we going, you and I? Or is this
I
like...
was thinking you and your weef to be, but I don't know.
Are
You
we?
should probably take your fiance.
Should I take my weef to be Friday, April 21st? Oh my God. Oh my God. This would be great, Jack.
Oh,
That's this
my
week.
God.
I'm very excited. Thank you. Wow, these are sick tickets too. Look at them. They kind of look like hot sauce.
It's a fast.
Those are the
it does
actual
look like a
tickets?
hot sauce.
Those are the tickets, yeah.
Oh,
Thanks,
wow.
man.
Bootleg until you see the back, yeah.
What?
I'm surprised you didn't try to pawn off one of your 28 more Blue Jays tickets on me for my
We should
birthday.
have. Holy shit.
The 1 in 8 Toronto Blue Jays.
She bought high. Yeah, well, we're not talking about it.
Adam Wild. I also got you something for your birthday.
Oh God.
And
Is it a
Steve, you
camera
can
lens
still
cap that
contribute
you're
to this
holding?
If you want, doesn't matter.
Oh, that's right. No, I'm going to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But I'm not giving it to you until I get my Tampa Bay gifts.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm holding
Okay.
out.
I mean, I think that's fair.
I think it's fair.
They're in my friend hallway.
Also,
that's
I think
fair.
it's more fun
Yeah,
this way.
Front hallway's across the street.
I know. I could get them and be back in about 5 minutes, but I'm not going to.
When I get those gifts, I'll let you know what Steve and I got you.
And my bad to Corey, who gave it to us in the first place. Sorry, buddy.
Was it double AF, Corey? Sorry, no one knows that story.
I don't know what that is. No.
Double AF's Corey. American as fuck, Corey. He was someone I met the night before my wedding. When I got
That
Steve makes
what?
inside jokes with
The
himself
hell?
now.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Who are you
tired.
talking
It's
to
the end
over
of the
there?
show. I'm tired.
So Monday, Steve, you are not only hosting at Maple Leaf Square for anybody that wants to go down, but you're going to the game.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So Tuesday's podcast is going to be fun.
Can you get us in VIP to Maple Leaf Square? Can we like stand up on the side of the stage? this year?
Possibly. I don't know. I kind of don't want to push it on account of like I just got this thing.
Well, fine.
I have something else to tell you, but it'll be off mic.
Oh, okay, fine. So there'll be a surprise coming. Any other questions?
Final question. If the Leafs win the cup, who does it get presented to?
Yeah, I've wondered that too.
Morgan Riley.
You think?
Morgan Riley.
Really?
Austin Matthews.
Well, no, you have to present it to a captain. And he's one of the alternate captains. And he's been with the team for 300 games.
You don't have to.
Morgan Riley.
Who was the last team to win the cup without a captain?
Good question.
Ever? Has it ever happened?
Almost Vancouver, right? Because wasn't Luongo the captain? No, he probably wasn't
No,
the
and
captain
then
at that
they
point.
gave it to Henrik Sedin.
I don't think it's ever happened.
Not that I can think of, no. I think the players discuss it, and they probably say, Austin. Or whoever gets like the game-winning goal.
Like, listen, I don't think that, not for 1 second do I doubt that Austin Matthews is the captain next year. Not for 1 second.
Year after.
Maybe year after. Maybe year after. Because
Winnie.
they're holding back on him, eh? They're not
Yeah.
marketing him big. They're not putting him in this. Like, Connor McDavid is everywhere in Edmonton. Austin Matthews, pretty quiet here. And that's intentional, by the way. They're very, very intentional.
So you think it'll be Riley?
I think if the Leafs won the cup this year, it would be Riley. I think they go captainless next year. If they don't, and Austin will be the captain eventually.
I think they get a captain next year. To start the season next year, I think they have a captain.
I wouldn't mind it being Austin Matthews. I
give
think at 40
someone like-
goals, that's captain material.
Someone like Komarov who's just been around for a while, or
No, it's like Adam
like
said.
Brian
Matthews just had the best season any Leaf has had since
Matt Sundin. And the other thing is with Komarov, he would be, I think, a good leader. But you need a guy who's going to be the captain for a long time. Austin Matthews is going to be here for a long time.
And Riley's locked up for another 5 after this.
Yeah.
one.
And it's nothing against Morgan Riley. I just think Austin Matthews is going to be the de facto leader. Like, he's going to be the offensive leader of that team with Mitch and Willie. But he's the
Every
big, tall
team-
center. Oh, hello.
Every team needs. I forgot the dog was here. Every team needs several leaders. So I don't know. The captain's tradition like a turkey.
like a turkey.
Like a turkey.
What was
At
that?
From
Easter.
Patrice O'Neill.
Do you have ham or turkey at Easter?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Turkey.
Both.
I haven't celebrated Easter, I think, since I left home. So I'm not from a very religious background. So, but we always used to celebrate and get together and stuff. And I when I was
religious, like
when I left, it was like, okay, now here's an excuse for a long weekend. And
yeah,
and
like are you not a fan of dinner?
Yeah.
I love dinner.
I love dinner.
but I don't
I'm
have
having
anything.
dinner tonight.
You having are you having a big dinner though?
I'm going to my parents' house. Gonna have some din.
I have an idea. I think we should start a church and a religion.
Like the Ultimate Warrior.
Did he have his own church and religion?
I'm pretty sure yes.
That's amazing.
I think we could get a couple hundred people to come out every Sunday.
What would it be called?
That's down the road. I just think we should start a church.
Okay. All right.
Maybe even a cult.
We'll be the first
you
ever
started the
Patreon
cult, right?
Yeah.
church.
Patreon. Well, aren't all churches sort of Patreon, just in the older sense? Because they're community supported, are they not?
You just messed my head up.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you pass around the
Yeah.
collection dish.
But I don't think okay.
and you do fundraisers.
Now, everyone, type in your Patreon. And
We could be the first church to Twitch stream our
Whoa,
ceremonies.
yeah. And to be the head guy, you have to just kill people at Chell. Like you have to be the best. And there's
The
a Chell
Church of
tournament every year.
Chell.
Yeah, Church
The
of Chell.
COC.
And then
every
we're gonna start
sermon,
this-
there might be just a challenger at the back of the church. Dangle! I challenge you!
No, it would have to
That's
be.
the tradition. It comes in like 40 minutes into the ceremony. Somebody gets up and challenges.
Well, isn't
be the
there
new high priest.
What was
Yeah.
Jesse's TV show going to be called? Fight Me at Chell, bitch.
Yeah.
So it would be like instead of Christmas, it's Fight Me at Chell, bitch, and it's once a year, and that's the time where you
Yeah.
can make the challenge.
That one
Christmas
day a
is
year.
not over until you fight me in jail.
We'll take December 25th, and that'll be the day. 'cause
We're co-opting.
Nothing important happens.
Nothing happens
nice and
then. No.
So
open.
we'll take
Yeah.
that day.
Okay.
And that'll be our Fight Me and Shell bitch day.
All right.
All right.
From the COC, the Church of Chell.
All right. I'm in.
Done.
Well, we're so off track that we put Bindi to sleep and then woke her back up again, so that's good. Gentlemen.
Bindi, let's go home. I'm tired.
All right, let's go home. Bindi. Go say Uncle. Say Uncle. Hi, Uncle Steve.
Bindi.
This podcast brought to you by Panago Pizza, by the way. It's on the inside that counts. We love you guys. Hopefully Game 2 goes better than Game 1 for everybody in Canada. And we will see you on Tuesday.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.